50 Shades Darker. Alright, let's just do this. It's directed by James Foley from Glengarry Glen Ross, Perfect Stranger, and many episodes of House of Cards, and stars Dakota Johnson, Jamie Dornan, Bella Heathcote, Rita Ora, and Marsha Gay Harden and Kim Basinger. It continues the story of Anastasia Steele as she is dealing with the return of Christian Grey in her life. She's now thinking, okay, let's try and have a safe and real relationship while also dealing with Christian's dark past that comes back to haunt him. Anyone who knows me knows that I was no fan at all of the first 50 Shades of Grey. The fact that it made $500 million worldwide and it was praised by so many other people as being a really good movie because it was so romantic and sweet, and I just love how passionate they were. It just infuriated me. So the expectations for the sequel were thus extremely low. Lower than hell. So tell me how 50 Shades of Darker, with all the low expectations that I had for it, still continued to completely disappoint, bore, and infuriate me the same way that the first movie did. I had some mild interest while watching this movie of, okay, they're at least trying to make it look a little brighter, and people are saying things that are at least just a little bit more optimistic and positive, but that still is a problem because I just don't care. The jokes that they're trying in this movie, which I really wanted in the first, I wanted a satire. I wanted someone to come in and say, how ridiculous is BDSM? I want that movie to be like that. And you can see that the filmmakers were trying with 50 Shades Darker, but the jokes that they come up with are just the most boring, paint-by-numbers, romantic comedy jokes that I've seen 100 million times from pretty much the entire filmography of Gary Marshall. But just like the first movie, 50 Shades Darker has no plot whatsoever beyond two people want to have sex all the time. It continues the same sickly commercial soundtrack, pitiful writing, flat and meaningless direction, and just no idea of what makes a movie watchable. We watch movies because we want to be interested in characters. We want to see their journeys go on through dramatic action. But to have two unbelievably boring, unlikable protagonists fill literally every single scene of this movie for 2 hours straight is the real reason why I am as mad as hell.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
This movie had no basic idea of actually making a plot. It just keeps going on with all these little tiny moments that each one gets climaxed and solved every 15 minutes. You're not watching a full movie, you're just watching a series of vignettes that are interspliced with sex, 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 sex. That's not a movie. I don't even know what it is. It's nothing. It's just nothing. This movie is so boring because of that, because you're trying to follow along with something that's going on, but nothing's happening. Every bit that is meant to be happening just gets resolved instantly. There were some scenes that I audibly laughed at, these just really weird deliveries or just weird ways of shooting a different scene or putting a character in other scenes. It's just like, what the hell is going on? I have no idea. Why would you choose to do that? Why would you have a character stand there out of focus and then someone blinks and then they're gone? Are they Batman? What is going on? I don't know. Constantly, you are thinking Anastasia is just plain stupid for ever going back to this manipulative, condescending, mansplaining, clinically insane moron named Christian Grey. But she does. In the first 10 minutes. This movie starts, 10 minutes later, she's back with him. Well, I guess that means that entire first movie didn't mean anything. The whole point, the whole ending of 50 Shades of Grey was that she was going to be her own person and say, no, I'm not going to do that. I would have liked it just a little bit if 50 Shades Darker said, okay, let's try and draw out this conflict that Anastasia and Christian have with each other. He wants her, she says, no, I'm not going to do it unless you were willing to change. And guess what? He doesn't. He kind of lets her in to say, oh, my mum was a crack addict. Great. That's fascinating. What does that mean? Does that mean anything towards you? Or is that just another example of why I shouldn't be with you? I was just wanting to scream at Anastasia, run! Run away. You are not being a smart person by ever giving this man any more of your time or even your body. It's just infuriating for this movie to keep going on with that and keep pretending like this relationship is important when it's not, because it's fake. It's false. It's not a real relationship. Two people cannot be like this, all right? That just should not work. When people are in this sort of relationship, it's not for very long and they instantly regret it for the rest of their lives. No two people who are like Anastasia and Christian should ever get married and live the rest of their lives together, okay? It just doesn't work. It goes against morality. It goes against the very nature of love and of connection and of relationships. And then there's the sex. Because that's the only reason why anyone actually wants to go see these movies. It's just to see kinky relations. And that's the problem as well, is because while 50 Shades of Grey gave us like 2 or 3 sex scenes that were so poorly lit, awfully directed, and would probably arouse someone who's never even had sex before, 50 Shades Darker says, screw it, let's just go full pornography. Because there's at least 7 or 8 sex scenes that just become so monotonous and overbearing and just come out of literally nowhere. It just happens and you're thinking, what are you doing? I was actually watching some kind of narrative and now you're saying, screw that, let's just have them have sex. Why? I don't care. I don't care at all about them wanting to screw their brains out every 5 minutes. Give me something else, but it doesn't. 50 Shades Darker has nothing but just these sex scenes, which in of themselves are so nauseatingly gratuitous. I don't want a movie that just completely rips off this scenario from the woeful romantic comedy The Ugly Truth. I don't want to see Oscar winners Kim Basinger and Marcia Gay Harden flop about scenes for no reason whatsoever other than to just cash in a nice fat paycheck. I don't want a movie that never bothers to give a real, legitimate reason why these two people, why Anastasia and Christian, should ever be with each other other than he's got abs and she's more gullible than a 2-year-old. I don't want a movie that promotes utterly false truths about the connection of sex and love. And above all, I just don't want this movie. 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, it's all garbage. These movies just appeal to the lowest common denominator of attentions. The same sort of people who think that Real Housewives is effective drama, who think that the latest update from Kylie Jenner on her Instagram is the most earth-shattering thing in the entire universe. The worst kinds of people. Okay? And I'm not afraid to say that. 50 Shades Darker proves that 50 Shades of Grey was no accident. And once again, it is an abomination of cinema that should have never, ever been filmed. And I have to say that 50 Shades Darker is just not worth it. Actually no, screw it. 50 Shades Darker is horseshit. So 50 Shades Darker, have you seen it? Please tell me what you think about it in the comments below, and also tell me what you thought about this review. There's going to be linked videos down here or one over there. For more Mr. Movies, please press my little face right there. Thanks for watching.